Good afternoon, everyone. This is Christian with PerfectStockAlert.com, a 100% free service for smart investors and traders. All we ask in return, please refer a friend. Today we're going to be discussing the on-balance volume indicator, or the OBV indicator. It was invented by Joe Granville and introduced in his 1963 book. And this is a tool that was one of the first ones out there to basically analyze the total money flow in or out of a security. And there's others out there now that may be taken a bit further, so you can look into that as you will. I'm going to show you a few things about the on-balance volume indicator that you can use. I want to point out right off the bat that no indicator is 100% effective every single time. If it was, we would have no other indicators. So you want to use the on-balance volume with other supporting indicators, something else to give you some more confirmation of your signals, okay? And a lot of times, though, it will be effective, and it's something that a lot of traders use. Excuse me. Okay, first how it's what it's doing for you, and it's basically a combination of volume and price activity. So it's taking the volume indication and the price activity and then combining those to tell you what's the total amount of money going into the security or coming out. Now, if you've got, the theory is, if you've got a stock that's trending up at the same time that on-balance volume was trending down, then people are actually selling the stock out, and that they don't really want it, so the move to the upside would not be sustainable. The same goes for a move to the downside. If you had a strong move to the downside, while at the same time you were seeing a good move to the upside in on-balance volume, you would not expect the sell-off to be sustainable. It would revert back in the direction of the greater pressure, which is in this case buy pressure. The calculation, the method used to calculate the on-balance volume total money line here is quite simple. You would look at the period here and look at the close compared to the previous period's close. If it's up, all of the volume associated with this period is positive. If the close is lower than the previous close, all of the volume associated with this period would be subtracted from the money of the on-balance volume total. And that's how that is calculated. It's very, very simple. There's a few different things you can do with on-balance volume. You can get confirmation of a trend. You can debunk a trend. You can also get bullish and bearish divergences from that. I'll show you a couple in a moment. And you know, that's important. You can also draw trend lines on these, and that's something a lot of people don't know. Is if you simply draw a trend line out from your low points, if you were to analyze that, you can get a forewarning of a breakdown before it happens. So that's something that people can do as well. You can use the corresponding low points of the chart as well. It's another method to spot different trend changes that are happening, though I would personally stick with the chart for analyzing trend, but it can be done here. Let me show you another way of doing it, and it can give you foreshadow or predict a change that's going to happen on the chart. Now, it won't always do this, but it can from time to time, so you should keep an eye out for it. Note this high point here. All right, jumps up here, hits this high point, pulls back off, finding resistance there. This is the corresponding high point here. You got to remember, when you're looking at price activity in the form of candlesticks like we are here, you want to focus on the close as being the resistance line. If you don't, you're not looking at the same thing. I know when you're talking about resistance lines, some people set it off the highs of the wicks, and some people set them at the close. Well, in this particular case, because you're using unbalanced volume, which only takes into account the close of one period from the next, you need to use the close, so you're comparing the same pieces of information here, okay? So you draw that trend line right there off of the close. You draw the same one right here off of that close. You're going to notice something. You get a breakout right here, okay, that's either came a day before or the same day that you saw it happen on price activity. So you might have got a little bit of heads up before it happened right there. But you'll also notice something else. This following day you had a sell-off back down below that resistance line, okay, that you had already broken out of. You sold off back down below it. But notice what happens here on the sell-off on the unbalanced volume. It does not fall back below it. That right there is a very easy opportunity to go long, just to buy, because you know, based on that unbalanced volume, that that's an overshoot in price. It's gone too far. It's going to go back the other way. It happened again here as well, okay? So whenever you see something like that, you can take advantage of that and know that. One more example before we wrap this video up. Here you've got a low point, right? We're looking at the close again of the lowest close, and looking at down here, corresponding low point. Okay, and is that the right one? 1, 2. Yeah, that's the right one. Okay, so the corresponding low point is right here. And what we're looking at here is this low point and this low point. And then we come over here to this low point right here and this low point right here. Okay, these correspond as well. Now you're going to notice something right here in price activity, a big move lower. However, on the on-balance volume, you have a slight trend up actually, ever so slightly. That's a bullish divergence, and it's telling you that again it has overshot to the downside, and you should be looking for a buy opportunity. This is just one of the different things you can do with on-balance volume as an indicator, but again, I would always look for confirmation somewhere else. Okay, you talked me into it. One more, just because it's so easy. Here we are, trending down, low points. Oh, sorry, close. Got to be doing it on the close. And then the corresponding low points on the on-balance volume right here, trending up. It's another signal telling you to be a buyer. Please take a moment to review our disclaimer. The information provided herein is our opinion only. Under no circumstances do any statements here represent a recommendation to buy or sell securities or make any kind of an investment. You are responsible for your own due diligence. To summarize, we do not provide investment advice, nor do we make any claims or promises that any information here will lead to a profit, loss, or any other result. These videos are for educational purposes only.